11Alive News starts now.
First at 12:30, a brand new ice storm warning added for Metro Atlanta. We'll break down the impacts we're expecting this weekend from this massive winter storm.
Plus, how to get ready for it. We are live as several local officials provide updates on city and countywide response efforts to this weekend's winter storm. Some major press conferences just wrapping up a moment ago. And 4 people found shot to death inside a Gwinnett County home. Children inside. Will have the newest information from police. Hello, thanks so much for joining us here on 11Alive Plus at 12:30. I'm Cheryl Preheim. We want to get right to the latest on this winter storm. A state of emergency in effect for all Georgia counties. This helps the state access more resources ahead of the storm. Let's get right to meteorologist Melissa Nord with more on this expanded information, including the metro. This is big.
This is big, Cheryl. It is the first ice storm warning issued for North Georgia since February of 2014. But here in Metro Atlanta, it's particularly, elevated in terms of, I want you to be aware that this is a real storm you got to take seriously. This is not just a little bit of freezing rain. It's going to be over 1/4 of an inch for the metro and over 1/2 an inch in parts of the metro and through northeast Georgia. And that will mean significant, dangerous travel and power outage threats that will increase as we go into the day on Sunday. So Saturday overnight, a lot of this ice accumulation really starts to amount, and then we see it peaking as we head through Sunday morning as those temperatures are at the coldest while the freezing rain is falling. Here's the bottom line: 1/2 an inch up to an inch, really 1/2 an inch or more throughout that northeast Georgia territory. Here in the metro, in this blue color, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of ice accretion is likely. The southwest side, where you are not yet under an ice storm warning, it doesn't mean you're not going to see ice accumulations that could lead to hazardous travel and isolated power outages. But the most significant bullseye of the impacts with this storm are going to be in northeast Georgia. There's a lot of components as to when this wintry weather begins, when the ice really starts to accumulate on those trees and the power lines. We're going to break down more on that and the timing that I'm expecting for this weekend. That's ahead. Cheryl.
Just another layer of information to tell us we need to take this very seriously. Melissa, thanks so much. So officials at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport just gave an update a few moments ago on their plans to manage flights, to deal with cancellations, to work through delays, all things they anticipate through the course of this storm. 11Alive's Doug Richards is following all of this for us. So Doug, what were your takeaways from this latest kind of information dump there at the airport?
Well, the airport says that it is ready for an ice storm. And part of the reason that they're saying that, and we're between 2 runways here in a maintenance area. The reason they say that they are ready for an ice storm is because they have new equipment that they say mimics equipment that is used frequently at northern airports like Chicago and New York, which helps keep runways clear of ice. And they say that they have enough equipment that they will be able to engage in a rotation sort of process on all the runways here at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport in order to keep the runways mostly clear of ice, even if the worst case scenario takes place where you have just ice pounding and accumulating on the runways. We talked with an official about this just a few minutes ago.
I'm confident that we will keep the airfield open for arrivals and departures throughout the entire event. So it's a collaborative effort between operations, the airlines, airport maintenance, and as long as we're working in sync, I'm confident that my team will do their part and have the airport operational.
And the team that he's talking about is a team that will be driving these new pieces of equipment that not only scrape ice off of the runways and taxiways, but also brush the ice particles off of the runways and then blow the ice particles to the side such that, at least for a little while anyway, they say that the asphalt on the runways and the concrete on the runways can be clear of ice for planes to take off and land. And then as the ice slowly accumulates again, they say that these same pieces of equipment can make additional runs ad infinitum until the ice storm clears. First time they're using this, they're pretty optimistic about what they're going to be able to do, Cheryl.
Interesting new technology, new equipment, and then a lot of manpower. Maybe help everybody get through the storm there at the airport. Doug, really appreciate that. And thanks to everybody working so hard out there in the days ahead. So what can you do right now to get your family ready? Well, number one, make sure you've got a flashlight with some fresh batteries. Also check the batteries in your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Start charging your cell phones, laptops. If you have any of those charging blocks, those are great to have fully charged right now. Your electronic devices, that's a good thing to do today. If you can, get to the store if you don't think you've got enough water, bottled water, some perishable food, pet food to get you through a couple of days. If you or someone you know needs a warm place to stay during the storm, warming centers will be open around the metro. In South Fulton, the Burdett Park Warming Center at 2945 Burdett Road in College Park. That opens tonight at 7, will be open through 7 tomorrow morning. Those hours will be in place through Tuesday. Depending on what happens with this storm, there's a possibility they'll extend those hours. We'll let you know if any of that information changes. In DeKalb County, a warming center will open tomorrow. It will be a 24-hour warming center through Monday. So starting tomorrow night at 7 through Monday, that will be open. Transportation available from the Frontline Response Headquarters. We have new details in a deadly shooting in Gwinnett County that's left 4 adults inside a Lawrenceville home. Police tell us it happened on Brock Ivy Court about 2:30 this morning. 11Alive's Ariana Manise has the latest on this investigation.
We're learning that one of the children inside the home when this tragedy unfolded called police, and the person police believe is responsible is now in custody. Gwinnett County police tell us that they responded to this home on Brook Ivy Court around 2:30 this morning. When police arrived, they found 4 adults shot dead inside the home. 3 children were also inside the home, hiding in a closet, and police say they were not hurt. Officers then begin searching the area around this neighborhood, and police say they located the suspect a short distance away from the home and took that person into custody. Police say there are no other suspects that they're searching for at this time, and that this appears to be a domestic-related incident. And police have not released the identity of the victims or the suspect or the relationship between the suspect and the victims. I spoke to neighbors. They say their main concern are the kids that were inside the home during that tragedy. They also tell me that overnight they heard the K-9 searching for that suspect. As police provide more information, we'll be sure to bring you the latest. Reporting from Gwinnett County, I'm Ariana Manise for 11Alive.
Certainly thinking about the kids who were in that house. Thank you so much, Ariana. As you get ready for the storm, you'll want to get your house ready in case you're stuck there a couple of days. So coming up, what Metro Atlanta residents are stockpiling in their shopping carts. Making sure your home is ready to go is a big part of storm preparations. Yesterday, 11Alive consumer reporter Liza Lucas talked with shoppers in Chamblee about what they're buying.
It's the basics. The staples bringing shoppers like Christy McLean into stores.
They ran out of snacks and bread and milk, so I'm just getting the little essentials that we need because I'm not coming outside. Once it started raining, I'm in. Because y'all don't know how to drive out here.
With a smile, the New York transplant says she does not need a full cart. She already has other essentials covered.
I got batteries, I got lights, I got lanterns.
At the Walmart in Chamblee, manager Tyrese Douglas says extra staff and deliveries are helping keep shelves stocked as customers prepare.
We have a lot of deliveries that's coming that's going to bring us extra milk, extra eggs, extra water to make sure that we maintain the in-stock for the customers.
He says many shoppers are focused on backup power options.
A lot of the camping items, we kind of forecasted. Flashlights, sternos.
Items that can provide comfort if the power goes out. And the good news, the aisles aren't overwhelmed. A welcome sight for Christy, who shared her advice for what's ahead.
But be considerate on the roads. Don't be in a rush for anything. Whatever you gotta go, it's still gonna be there.
Liza Lucas, 11Alive News.
But preparing right now for the groceries you need, planning to not drive on the roads. Those are the things you want to get done today or early tomorrow morning, because once we get to the end of tomorrow, this winter storm is moving in and it's already impacting areas to our west. And it is a almost coast to coast system there from the Four Corners all the way up into the northeast. In the last hour, the Weather Service has expanded the ice storm warning so that now encompasses the inner Atlanta metro, all of East Georgia and all of Northeast Georgia. To be in an ice storm warning, at least a quarter of an inch of ice is needed to be in that forecast, and that's exactly what we've been forecasting here in Metro Atlanta, a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, and then in Northeast Georgia we expect it to be the most significant ice storm that we're going to see in some time, with over a half an inch of ice accumulation. Likely in some places those ice accumulation amounts could be over 3/4 of an inch. So really devastating ice storm expected there. Let's talk about the impacts of this ice accumulation. We get above a quarter of an inch up to a half an inch. That's adding a lot of weight on the trees, on the power line. So we start to see not just icy, dangerous travel from the roadways, but broken tree limbs and numerous power outages. But the power outage threat becomes much more widespread when you get over a half an inch or more of ice accumulation. And the reason why has to do with physics. When we had a half an inch of ice that is on those wires, that's adding about 500 pounds of weight on the wire. And the way that the ice accretes and forms on the power lines is not a perfect circular shape, it's a teardrop shape. So as the winds increase Sunday afternoon, some gusts could be around 25 miles an hour. The physics of that blows that in the wind. That's called galloping. So it sways. Those lines are swaying as they get that much ice accumulating on them. So it's adding more force, more friction, and that's why we see the power outage amounts really increasing significantly once you get up to a half an inch of ice. So widespread power outages, major impacts expected there in Northeast Georgia. Moderate impacts in the metro, even though it's not major, it is going to be a very significant system in the metro. Do not be driving on the road Saturday night or Sunday morning, and then we could see those power outages increasing as well as that ice is swaying those power lines in the breezy winds. Less impacts to the south and west. Bottom line, plan on being where you're going to ride out this storm by tomorrow, kind of early to mid-afternoon. We will start to see the beginning of that wintry weather arriving on Saturday afternoon and evening, and then it really increases after sunset. Here's the satellite and radar right now. We are cloudy, mostly dry. We've had a little drizzle this morning. Most of what's brought us rain in the last 24 hours is exiting, so some dry hours ahead later today and early tonight, with just the exception of some patchy drizzle. This is the beginnings of our winter storm. More moisture coming in off the Pacific's going to be cutting across the country, so we'll see that moisture arriving here late tomorrow. For the rest of today, you can get your preps done, go to the grocery store, get the supplies you need for the weekend. Temperatures are moderating up into the 50s and 40s this afternoon. As we head through the overnight, clouds are still with us. We start tomorrow morning dry. Initially, we'll see a light wintry mix developing tomorrow during the late morning to afternoon. That might be just a couple of flurries or sleet pellets or a few raindrops where it's warm warm enough. Watch after sunset, though, tomorrow night. Colder air is building in, freezing rain developing area-wide overnight through Sunday morning. And then we're going to watch Sunday afternoon. There's moisture ongoing, but can we warm the temperatures up and transition into a cold rain? That might help areas in the metro and point south in terms of melting a little bit of that ice. But if we get a lot of ice Saturday night and Sunday morning, it doesn't matter. It's going to take a long time to recover from that. But the last of the moisture clears out Sunday evening. Now, I want to talk about those temperatures, okay? The wedge is going to be building in. What I've plotted here is warm air in this yellow and orange color, that's above 40 degrees, and cold air below freezing in the blue color. This is Saturday afternoon. You see we're still kind of mid-30s, but not quite below freezing. As the moisture moves in, the wedge moves in as well. Here's the cold air seeping in for Saturday night. Everybody is below freezing first thing on Sunday morning. What we're going to be watching for to help erode away some of that cold air is this warm nose building in from the west Sunday afternoon. Notice that might creep into the western metro. It's not going to make it to northeast Georgia. You're going to be in freezing rain that entire event. Any moisture left on the roads is freezing back over to an ice sheet Monday morning as area wide we're dropping down into the 20s. So I want you to prepare for not just the impacts this weekend, but it's going to linger into Monday as well. You see the timeline over the weekend. Things picking up Saturday night through Sunday morning. Here's your 7-day forecast showing our weather impact alert. Look at Monday, 33 in the afternoon, falling temperatures down to 15 on Tuesday morning. Northeast Georgia, up in the higher elevations, the mountains and all of that, you could be iced in for several days with power outages that could be long-lived. There's more coverage on 11Alive Plus right after this.
We have an important warning for you and your family. As temperatures drop, the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning goes up. It's a colorless, odorless gas. It's used in most homes this time of year just to keep you warm. The fumes are produced in things that can keep you warm, like fireplaces, furnaces, and portable generators. Mandy Gaither goes over the dangers and how to reduce your risk.
Every year in the U.S., unintentional carbon monoxide poisoning sends more than 100,000 people to the emergency room, hospitalizes more than 14,000 patients, and kills more than 400 people.
A lot of the symptoms of the early start to carbon monoxide exposure can mimic some of the cold and flu-like symptoms.
Dr. Jason Milk with Cleveland Clinic says that adds to the challenge of identifying when carbon monoxide is making a person sick. The most common symptoms of poisoning are headache, dizziness, weakness, upset stomach, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion.
The emergency departments have ability of how to measure your carbon monoxide levels. And the antidote for carbon monoxide exposure is eliminating the source, meaning getting away from the risk. And then oxygen is the therapy.
Reduce risk of exposure by using a carbon monoxide detector that will alert when there's a danger. The CDC also says to never use a generator inside your home or garage, even if doors and windows are open. Only use them outside, more than 20 feet away from windows, doors, and vents, and never heat your home with a gas oven. Don't run your vehicle inside a garage that's attached to a house, even when the garage door is open. For a detached garage, open the door to let in fresh air when running a car.
If you have multiple family members, everyone in the home has all the same symptoms. It may be that carbon monoxide is the common denominator as to why everyone doesn't feel good.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Our meteorologists are doing such a great job of walking us all through what to expect. So they are saying that this storm will involve more ice than snow, which makes conditions even trickier for drivers. 11Alive's Doug Turnbull has some tips for drivers in vehicles both big and small.
There you go. Keep her moving.
There's been a joke, or 7, about southern drivers in winter weather. With days of lead time and that in mind, the best advice Department of Public Safety captain and trained professional driver Crystal Zion can give is to stay off of the roads this weekend and allow more room for first responders and road crews to safely move. However,
if you do have to travel, then we ask you, obviously with snow and ice, slow down. That's really important because those roads are slippery. You have to give yourself more time to react. If traffic is stopped in front of you and the roads are slippery, it's going to take you longer to get stopped.
And drivers should keep their eyes on the horizon, she said, so they can prepare for stopped traffic well ahead of time, especially on bridges and overpasses, which could freeze over first. Essential workers that have to hit the roads need to know that bigger roads get treated first, so neighborhoods will be the trickiest to navigate. And if a driver does start to spin, Zion says not to panic.
Basically what you need to do is get off the brake, get off the gas, let the vehicle settle. There's nothing you're going to be able to do until the vehicle settles. You're not going to be able to put any steering input into it while it's skidding on ice or sliding on ice. So what we need you to do is counter steer, basically steer into the skid, steer back into it, and then if it goes the opposite way, do the same thing again.
and she urges people to stay at slow speeds when that happens. She also said that for tractor trailers and other commercial vehicles that have to deliver essential freight, all weigh stations will be open around Georgia, and that the State Patrol will be out in full force to help keep drivers safe.
Doug Turnbull, 11Alive News.
A couple other tips for you. It's really a good idea to have some snacks in the car, batteries, a blanket, and make sure your gas tank is full. We'll be right back.